So you asked your question before you even came on.
The Beehive got an attitude today.
Huh? You have that word.
Say you got an attitude. You got an attitude today. Is it the cucumber?
I stopped the cucumber,
You,
maybe that's why.
you
You still,
stopped
yeah, I stopped at day 14.
day 14. What happened at 20? What was it? 20,
20, yeah, something like that.
oh,
Who cares?
22 days. What happened?
Who cares? It just didn't happen. I had some teas and yeah.
You said who cares?
Yeah, who cares? That was the mission, but then, sometimes you don't reach to a destination because there are no destinations.
But was it a was it a destination for you? I thought it was just having fun. Like you said, you were just having fun.
Just
You
ask.
weren't. I'm saying you weren't really taking it serious. I thought you weren't taking it that
It
seriously.
wasn't that serious. That's why I said, who cares about the 22 days? Yeah, no, I felt I can go back to it. I really loved the journey. It was nice. It wasn't as boring as the other ones, but I just felt like not going and just having some teas and whatever. My sister made some smoothies
Mm. What?
on that.
So your sister spiced it up for you?
No, it's just that, she put so much effort to it, so much love to it, and I felt like declining it would be like, oh, what would you do? Because she went out of her way to to find something that I like, which is juices and smoothies, right? So the first day I was like, oh no, I don't, do smoothies. Smoothies are like very solid to me. And she said, okay. She literally just said, okay. But she put it in the fridge, and I know nobody else will drink it either. And then, yeah, I took a sip of it the next day, and that's how I broke it. Yeah.
What did you learn, from these 14 days? What was one of the biggest lessons that it taught you, or your biggest takeaways that it gave you?
Um, it was a different from all the other mono diets, and it had more freedom in it. I wasn't interrupted by sugar or salt or anything like that. So I was really, I don't know if I would say like this is the most energized I've ever felt. So I've learned something about myself, which is like, okay, what do you actually drink? What do you actually like? What is it that you drink? And it's nothing. I don't like any other juice. I don't like any juices. I'm not into no smoothies. So I just want that freedom of thinking that you have something, but you don't actually. So the cucumber gave me that. It was like I was having something, but I wasn't having something.
Right, right. Because when you say that, you had the most energy ever,
Hmm.
was it too much energy? Was it too much?
I used to say like I have, or people around me say I have too much energy. But this time, I think it was, my sleep decreased in a very natural way. Even if I was doing like mono diet on the other fruit, my sleep wasn't the same. Like I could sleep because I had some sugar. Sugar put me to sleep, or first it energizes you and then it just puts you to sleep. So this time I didn't have that. So I could be up all night. I could be out playing in the playgrounds and just like driving around all night. So the day and night concept just disappeared. Literally just disappeared. So my energy was used, outside, just like normal days. I'll be in the parks at night. Um, so I was doing the same things I would do during the day at night. Does that make sense? So my energy was like spread out. So I didn't feel like I had too much.
So you didn't feel like you had too
No,
much.
not too much. I had the perfect. I wasn't getting tired. Um, I wasn't getting like, bored. I wasn't feeling like I needed to do something else. Everything was just aligning. Does that make
Hmm.
sense? Yeah.
So, people say nothing's perfect, right?
Hmm.
But you just said it was actually perfect. It was perfect.
Hmm.
So if it was perfect, what would you say was the problem within that perfection? What was the problem?
I think, when you do too much, that can be a problem because it's like you're aiming for perfection or whatever. Perfection doesn't exist in a sense, but it's if you just find that middle, where you're not seeking something, you're not rushing for something, you're not trying to reach a goal or whatever. It's just like in the nothingness that it's perfect. Does that make sense?
So you weren't able to find the middle. You weren't able to find that nothingness.
That's what I found in the cucumber
You
juice.
did find
Yeah.
it, but in finding it, that was enough. You're like, okay, I found it. There's nothing more.
It's nothing to find, actually. It's just something to flow with. It's not something that I found. It was just, oh my God, this is me. Like when I had something else, it was like something else. I was turning into somebody else. Does that make sense? Like, but the cucumber was not making me feel any type of way. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm full right now. Oh my God, I'm feeling the sugar. Oh my God, I'm feeling the salt. Oh my God, I'm feeling this. It wasn't anything that was going on in my body. It was just like it was just blending with it. But then my reality just became like something that I just blend with.
Okay, so since it wasn't anything else, since it wasn't extraneous, since it wasn't like the sensation of, oh, the sweet or oh, the sugar or oh, the salty or oh, the this, did you ever crave something else? Like just being in that nothingness, being in that void of just absolute, just perfection. Did you crave something more?
No, that's the point with it. I wasn't craving anything more. And
Okay,
I wasn't feeling lacking anything either.
so you didn't lack, there was
Yeah.
no lack, but there was no crave,
No,
so there was no anything.
no.
So, to have no stimulation, you know, there was no
Hmm.
frustration.
Exactly. It's
But
just
was that
silence.
boring?
Hmm?
Was it boring to have nothing that you
No,
craved? Was it boring?
because nothing is everything. It's like you find everything in that nothingness. You do. What?
Because my question is, if nothing is everything and you found everything in the nothingness,
Mhm.
if you're satisfied with that, what's the point of going back?
I'm not thinking of any going back or any going forward or anything like that. I'm still just in the flow. It's just I'm still in the flow. It's like, okay, let's say like this. When I used to, every time I ate something, I used to say, "Oh my God, I'm punishing myself," right?
Hmm.
Like it felt like a punishment. Like I knew I put something into my body, something is going to happen, but we're taking the risk. And I think everybody, takes the risk every day, every time they put something into their mouth. But I was consciously, aware of that. I was conscious about it. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm punishing myself today, so I'm having this juice. I'm punishing myself today, so I'm having that. So I was aware of, what was going to happen. And I think it's just, you know, it's the same thing here as well. It's like, okay, let me just drink some tea, So I'll go back to those sensations again, and then I can go out of it again. So it's just a choice. You choose the suffering too.
Okay, so we're choosing the suffering,
Hmm.
but it's a conscious choice at least that you can say, okay, if I'm gonna punish myself, however that punishment means to you, because punishment means different things to different people, but for you, that punishment, you're like, at least I'm in control of my own punishment.
I'm aware of it, yeah.
At least I'm aware that I'm punishing myself today.
It's like you drink smoothie, right? Yeah, it's true. Like it's not like I'm feeling like, oh my God, that smoothie is gonna make me feel like wonderful, this, or that, anything like that. I know you can set your mind to, food making you feel whatever too. But to me, it's like when I see the smoothie, I know it's gonna solidify inside me. And I know like, oh my God, that solid thing is gonna be like a rock. So it's not the same as juice. When you drink juice, it's a juice, right? But when I drink something that's dense as smoothie, I can feel my system solidified the whole smoothie inside me. Like I can literally feel it. And I know like, oh my God, you know, something is happening. And then, you know, whatever that goes in there needs to come out as well. So it's just like, why did I have to do that? Why did I have to do that when I could leave the garbage outside? You know, why did I have to put it inside me? So I already know the effect of it. I already know how my body's going to react to it. And since I know, I'm choosing consciously. I shouldn't, but you know.
And it's not to say that you should or you shouldn't. You know, I'm not trying to, you know, tell you you should or shouldn't do anything. I love your explanation because to me, correct me if I'm wrong, you're exercising free will. You know, it sounds to me like you're saying, okay, I'm in control of my suffering. If I want to, you know, be punished, then at least I can choose that punishment. You know, over having someone choose it for me, I'm choosing it for myself. And in that exercise of free will, there's a freedom. There's a freedom in that free will to know that you did that.
Yeah, it's just being awake in the matrix instead of being the victim of everything, right? You're just awake. And you know, like, okay, this is an illusion, but you still entertain it,
Okay.
right? It's a choice. But instead of like walking in this reality and just being the victim of everything, right? You don't know you're acting, you don't know what you're doing, you're just a victim. So it's just like, I'm not the victim, I am the actor, I know I'm in control of it. So I'm just choosing to act whatever, you know. We choose a little suffering today and tomorrow we do something else, you know.
You know, in acting, like there's so many different roles when it comes to acting. Did you ever feel like did you ever feel like you had a role to play? Like what's this role that I'm playing? Did you ever have a feeling like that?
If I had a feeling about what is this,
Having a role to play in this reality, being an actor, like you said, you know, I'm just acting. Did you ever feel like you had a role to play?
I have a lot of roles. I have a lot of roles to play. And the trick is like to know that each is a role, you know? So I'm acting this role today and that other one, and the next minute, like every second, is just a different role. Like when
So,
I'm here, like to my sister, I'm a sister role, right?
okay.
And my nieces, I'm like an auntie role, right? For my children, I'm a mother role. I'm a friend, you know, like it's a different roles and you don't play them the same way. So yeah, just knowing that all of them are roles, that's how I move around my life.
And was there ever a time where, you know, if you can reminisce for a moment, where you had a realization like, I don't want to play anymore. Like, I don't want to play a role today. I don't feel like acting today. I don't feel like doing it today. Yeah. Do you ever felt like that?
Like you can choose to not play some of the roles, but you can't just say like, okay, I don't want to act today because you're acting what you're saying you're acting, you're doing that. So, but you can choose to not play some of the roles. You know, if you say today, if I say like, oh, you know what, I don't want to be a mother today. I don't feel like being a mother. I've done that many times before, like when I
Many,
was
many
young.
times?
Many times. Mhm. Like when I was 19, for example, or 18, and I would hang with my friends when I have a babysitter or whatever, I would go and that moment I'm not a mother. I'm not playing. But every time we were back and, you know, let's say like we have hungover or whatever, and we just, you know, had a rough day, they can all still play the same role like just who they are, but then I have to step into the mother role. So I used to put the hat off and then put a hat on again. Because when I'm out there, I'm not a mother, right? So you can choose, but then also still some roles are like I'm a mother. It's not like something I can say like I can't be anymore, but I can choose to let go of that hat sometimes. But it's not like I can totally say, okay, I'm not going to act that at all. Now I'm just acting a bad mother because I am a assigned to do that role. I assigned myself to do the day I became a mother, right? So I can take the hat off and on, but I can never put it down and say I'm not. Yeah.
And that was never constricting, like that was never conflicting to understand that you couldn't put it down. There's no putting it down.
Oh yeah, it was when I was 15.
It was.
Yeah. I just didn't get it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna take care of this. You know, this being is really like my responsibility. I would have to say it. I would have to like create it. So now I have to create a story for this being, right? So I have another, it's a job, right? So I need to learn how to do that job. So there was a time I was like, oh my God, I want to resign. I don't want to be part of it, you know? This is not my role. But then it was too late. And then I had to learn the job. It's not like you're born with it. Some people maybe are born with that instinct or whatever, but maybe it could be just because I was a kid myself.
The instinct, are you talking about the motherly instinct?
Not the motherly instinct, but just to take the role. Like some people have already fantasized about that role. They already put themselves in that role, right? Or mother. Let's say like if you're in your 20s, you already thought of it, right? Versus when you're 14, 13, you don't think of becoming a mother. So I wasn't prepared for the role. I wasn't like educated enough to take the role. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Wow, so nothing could have prepared you.
No, I just, had to go through it. It's like life. Nobody prepares you for life.
Right, because I saw you put up not too long ago, there's times where, you know, the roller
Mm-hmm.
coaster. I saw you put up something about this roller coaster of life and this roller coaster where we go to different realms, and sometimes we feel like we're in a realm of depression, or sometimes we feel like we're in a realm of, joy, or sometimes bliss, or sometimes, we're battling, you know, in a different realm. So who is Nabiha when we don't see her? When you are away from everyone else, when you have to get away for yourself, what are some of the things that you have to do for your health when you're not in that realm that we usually are accustomed to seeing you in?
First, I really don't like to hide any part of me, whether I am with people or not. It's like I am who I am. I shared that message, when was it, yesterday in the Telegram group, where I had a conversation with a friend of mine in Denmark. And every time she talks to me, it's like she just asks questions and questions and questions and questions and questions and questions, and I have to answer and answer and answer and answer. And so her questions are always like, but do you feel like that? She would tell me like how she feels and how she feel like sometimes, like she's like, yesterday or the day before I wrote that, she asked me, do you think I'm bipolar? I can make up my mind up by something and then I'm like somewhere else and I'm this and I'm that. And I'm like, that's normal, don't label yourself a bipolar and whatever. Don't take any labels. And then she was like, but I mean this way and I mean that way and I mean this way. And I'm like, yes, we all feel that way. You have to share in order for you to know that someone else is actually feeling the same way, right? And then she will keep on asking me, but do you feel that way? I'm like, yes. Do you have bad days? I'm like, yes, I do have bad days. I do have, nice days. I do have like crazy days that I don't understand, days that I'm schizophrenic, days that I'm bipolar, whatever you want to name it. All of them are okay, you have to share them. So it was like she was so surprised that she always thought she was alone on those feelings, right? And thoughts. So I felt asking the group, like, hey, how does your roller coaster work? Like, if this planet is kind of like an amusement park, you go on that roller coaster, sometimes it goes up, but you can't stay up there, you have to come down as well, right? And then that downhill is fun in the roller coaster, but it doesn't mean the fun stays, and then you have to go up again, and then you get nervous and you have to go down again. So we all have those days where we go up and down on a ride. And I think that's a natural way, because if the roller coaster were just standing at the top and you never come down, like how would that feel? Like you're just watching everything from the top, but you're stuck up there, right? So you have to come down and then you have to go up. So that's how I feel like my life is. And then at the same time, like it's so many different rides. It's not just a roller coaster. Let me just get on this one and that one. So you can choose consciously when you know that you are on an amusement park. So yeah.
Yeah, there's the Thunderbird and the
Mhm.
Loop-de-Loop and the Superman and the
Batman, that was boring one, but yeah.
yeah, there's so many rides, you know,
Mhm. Yeah.
and
I
each
think Batman was boring because he just took you up and then went down one time. And that
which
was
would Batman?
yeah. It took you up one time and then down. I'm like, where's the rest? You know? So it was just a scary ride, and it was just based on fear, but it wasn't something that was, had a kind of up and down.
Right,
Mhm.
right. But each ride has its own rhythm.
Exactly. Exactly.
There's a rhythm to every ride
Mhm.
because when somebody is talking to you in the behind, you get frustrated because they keep asking you. They're trying to ask you like, no, but how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Do you get a feeling like people think you're not human, or that you wouldn't go through the same things that they go through?
Mhm. That's exactly how it feels like, because that's why I get frustrated. Like, what do you think I am? Of course. Do you cry? Like, what do you think I am? Do you have bad days? Yes. And I love them. If I didn't have bad days, I would be weird. That was no. You have to have the balance between them. Yeah. So yeah, when they ask me those questions, it's like, do you think I'm better than you? Do you think I know something better than you? Do you think I know anything better than you? And then it's always like, yeah, but you always answer to the question. It's just that's because I feel the same way. It's not that I know you or I know, how this works. It's just that I analyze myself and I know how I feel. I've had the thoughts of like, oh my God, are you bipolar? Like, it's normal because of the concept is out there, so you can match with your thoughts because of you not fitting in the box anymore. But if you really fit in that box of the concept bipolar or schizophrenic, now you are limited to that concept. So that's why I don't like, but you can match. Sometimes when you feel some type of way and you Google the symptoms and you have all the symptoms, that's because of, you're matching something, but you shouldn't take it.
Right. No, I agree because I like how you said you analyze yourself, right? You said I analyze myself. Do you feel like to a certain degree, maybe people ask you these questions, they don't assume that you are human, like you have these human traits, these human feelings, these human emotions, because they don't analyze themselves?
Um, I think it's in the human conditioning to just look up to something. How you always search for a savior, somebody to save you, whether it is Jesus, Muhammad, whatever it is. It's always somebody, Spider-Man, whatever. It's always somebody that's going to come and save you, right? So when people step away from those concepts because if they have known them all their life and it's nothing came and saved them, now they want to save themselves. But instead of like going inward, now they go for people like me, like you, like someone else, whoever they think like knows more than them, right? And then they ask questions, but still they haven't acknowledged that the power is within them. It's like, okay, now I found little power in you, so let me just find the answers within you instead of finding within themselves. So it's like they're still giving away the power to me, and I don't want it. Does that make sense? I don't want your power. Your power is within you. That's why I even wrote a post about it's harder to make money for someone like me because I would just straight tell you, hey, I don't know anything about you. You need to find it. And it's like, no, you need to find it for me. You need to give me the answer. And when I tell them like the answer is within you, you know, then they get frustrated. They think someone else, I will tell them like, okay, I'll pick this card for you and this is what your life is going to look like. They will pay that person like thousands of dollars. They will. Because they're just looking for the answer. They just want to be saved. They don't want to do the work. Until you understand, like, there's no way out but the work. There's no way out.
Right, because what was the moment in your life, if you could pinpoint it, if you can recall the defining moment where Nabiha said, no one's coming to save me?
When I said it,
Yeah, like no one's coming to save me.
I don't know if I ever felt like, somebody's gonna come and save me. I don't think I've had that feeling like, if I think about it.
When you
When I
accepted
was,
full responsibility, totally, for everything, you said, if it will be, it's up to me. It happens to me because of me. No one's coming to save me. What was that moment for you?
like for me, I went through this journey, not like in a spiritual way, but in a like normal way, right? Where when I was adopted, for example, I would think like, oh yeah, somebody's gonna come and save me, until I was 13 and I find out myself, right? So during that time, from I was 6 to whatever till whatever date, I developed that it's only me who can save myself, right? So when I stepped into, what is this? When I went out of like human beings, like mom, dad, sister, brother, I was like, what is this? Then I turned into religion, and it's like, okay, now I'm being saved from a fire and this and that. If I don't do this and if I don't do that, and if I don't do this, this is going to happen with this punishment, whatever. And I'm like, too much punishment, I just can't take it. And it's like, I didn't sin. I didn't do anything. I know I didn't do anything. So that became like a fairy tale to me and something that I wouldn't do. And then my own questions. Like I have to say to myself. So I ask myself a question and I answer it. I would never expect you to answer my questions, but I would speculate with you about my questions. And then I will look for me to find the answers within myself. It could be any guru, it doesn't matter, It has to click for me. So I don't know. I just seek stuff, but I always know it's just me that need to find the answers. So I don't know when I find it.
But it sounds like it's been a long time, that you've known this deep down within yourself, that you had all that you needed.
We do. We do have all we need. Because, when you are, when you move through life on your own somehow, you kind of find those things out. Even though I had interaction with human beings on the outside, I call them friends, they are co-workers, school, whatever, every time I came back to myself in my house, it was just me, right? So it was like an act I was doing out there, but then no concept could save me because every concept had a mind behind, right? And that mind is not, more magical than my mind. Why can I not use the one that I have instead of like going after others, right? So yeah, I think Jesse wants to join.
I hear, see, Manena says, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie says, the best teacher makes you want to learn. I agree. My spiritual advisor says the best healer is the one you don't have to keep seeing.
Yeah, otherwise
Yeah.
it becomes a doctor, and doctors, you coming back is in their business.
I remember hearing in certain countries or certain places, like in the Eastern, like Asian countries, instead of paying the doctor when you see them, you you stop paying them when you have to see them. Like it's reversed, it's backwards. Like it used to be that the longer you don't have to see them, you keep paying, but then you get sick, you stop paying.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So it's in their best interest to keep you healthy, Yeah.
That makes so much sense. Around here, they call me a little doctor. I don't know why, but I give them advice on things that they eat and whatever that I just see, right? But one thing I've noticed is everybody asks me this question: tell me how to lose weight. And my simple question is always work out. I don't say anything but work out. And they're like, no, I don't want that. Tell me something, some pill that I can take or something that makes me skinny. And I'm like, I don't know of any pill, but I could tell you, you can put on a YouTube video, you know, I can give you a little device that you can buy from Amazon or something. You have to set a time for you to work out every day. You need to do the work. But no, they get like, whatever. I don't know what you're saying, kind of. And I get so sad sometimes because you have to do the work. You can't go into a quick fix, you know, pill or something. Like this whole planet is conditioned that way, like a quick fix. And I think it's the same thing with the spirituality too. Everybody's like, I want my Kundalini to wake and I want to ascend. What is an ascending if you don't know anything about grounding? There's no way. You have to plant the seed for it to grow. But if you don't want to plant the seed, you just want to grow. It doesn't even make sense, right? But it's that instant. You know, we just want everything to happen quick.
You know, you said some real wisdom right there, because, you know, that really strikes home to Bihan. There's a saying, and I'm sure you've heard this many times, like easy come, easy go. You've heard that?
Yeah, and it's true.
Like
It's
the results, if you had gotten the results just so easy, or if you had gotten something you wanted so easy, it might go just as easy.
yeah,
So,
like a plastic implant. Instead of working out, you know, your legs and your butt or something like that, you put some silicone in it, and you will deal with the consequences. You know, it's not go. It's not a work that you've done.
or like liposuction, you know, I've had people in my, you know, in my family that I've seen, they had an operation where a whole bunch of weight dropped off, you know, but they didn't have the mind to support that. You know, they didn't have the image to support that. They didn't have their esteem or that confidence or whatever it was, or even the habits, the routines, the regimen, the exercise, the discipline to support that. So it just went right back, you know, after they got the operation, you know, within a matter of months, they were right back to where they started.
Yeah, yeah. Those surgeries never works because it's not the body, it's the mind. The body didn't just eat itself. It's the mind that, you know, made it get that way, you know? So if you don't fix the mind, you can't fix the body by just sucking the fat out.
I've also heard the same when it comes to finances.
Yeah.
You know, certain people would say, like, when it comes to financial literacy or discipline with, you know, with wealth or with money, that if someone hands you $1 million, that you should think to become a millionaire quickly so you get to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, it'll disappear because you don't have the mind to support that amount. You're going to find a way to get rid of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like a self-sabotage. Have you ever been in a position where you were given so much, it felt like too much? It was like, oh my God, you felt like these blessings were just coming your way. And since you weren't used to that, somehow you kind of figured out ways to unconsciously get rid of it, to go right back to where you were.
I haven't experienced it, but I've witnessed it.
You've witnessed it in what way?
I've seen people that, for example, you know, they took their parents' money or whatever till they died. And this person have always been lazy, never worked because it was the parents that did all the work. And when they get the money, it was just, they're wasting on everything, whatever, you know. And it went so quick, they couldn't maintain it. But in their mind, they thought like, okay, now I have all the money, I have the house, I have this, and I can just continue. But if you don't have the mindset, if you didn't make this money, and you didn't earn this money, it's easy to just lose them like that because you don't know how it feels like to actually get to that point and learn how to maintain it. So I've seen people lose money because of, you know, they were just given the money. But as far as like, I know if it's like a person like me, I work towards it, I maybe not have reached it. So if I reach it, I wouldn't call it like, oh, that was something that was just given to me, because I feel like I'm mentally prepared myself for certain things. But there are some people that are not, and they just give and they knew they would just be given. That's why they never worked towards it too, somehow. So yeah.
No, that's real. You know, like when it comes to Tarek, Hannah, and Mickey,
Mhm.
were there any lessons that you instilled within your three children to that effect? Like earning things, or nothing is to be given to you, or to kind of like, were there any lessons like that that you feel you instilled within them?
Yeah, I always teach them that nothing is free. Like nothing when it comes to these material things. The only thing that are free are the things that we have taken for granted, right? So when it comes to, getting money or getting, something, it's a hard work. I've always told them, you need to work for it, you know? Like, oh, why do I have to? My son would always say, like, why do I have to go to school? It's just this programming facilities and this, and that. So I would let him know, like, they will ask you for a key to enter the doors that you want to get in. So even if you don't care, just make sure you have the key, you know? Just collect the keys if you want to, and then open these doors and then see whatever they have behind them, you know? But if you just say like, oh, all this is programming and I don't care, and like, I don't want to go to business school. This guy don't even have a business, you know? It's like you're already analyzing. You're already, in that step. So yes, you don't have a business, but he's there teaching you something. So just take the key and then do something else with it, whatever you think is worth. So yeah.
That makes sense, and because at the same time, there's a lot of people, and you'll hear it all the time when it comes to the law of attraction or manifestation or speaking things into existence. You don't seem like you were ever the person to place much importance in manifesting money in that way, where a lot of people are like trying to speak it into their life. You don't really.
Because they don't own it
Yeah.
within themselves. They have
What?
to speak it.
So what's the difference for you, where you said, I'm not going to spend any time trying to speak these things?
Because I do it in silence when nobody hears it, when nobody knows, right? It's just built within me to be just grateful for whatever. And if I want to manifest, I feel like I manifest everything in my life. I mean, literally everything. And it's not like I sit down and write affirmations and I give a power to, oh, let me say this, let me say that. Those affirmations are already instilled within me. It's like I just know. If I want to get there, I know. If I want to be that, I know I can. All of it is just, I have no doubt in that someone else that I can't do anything that someone else did. It's just like if I put my mind to it, I can. And I mean, like literally everything I want to. So I don't have that uncertainty within me that I have to have an affirmation to support that and feel like that's going to make it happen. They're already within me. I don't have any doubt.
So you feel what makes a certain type of individual want to use affirmations is because they don't have the inner knowing or the certainty
Yeah,
that it's.
the vibration. But it's good practice, to create that vibration by saying it out loud and saying it out loud over and over again until it becomes like a, tape that plays inside of you already, and then you own the vibration. So you don't have to say it out loud. You just have the vibration. So instead of saying like, oh my God, I'm so grateful for this day, I'm grateful for every day, you know? So I do have that vibration within me already that whatever the day presents, I'm grateful for it. I don't have expectation of like, oh, this is how it's supposed to go, because that would mess up my whole day. So I just go with the flow, and I know like whatever that's presented, it's supposed to be there. So I'm just grateful for it. So I don't have to think about, oh my God, I've got this one, thank you, Like now I'm giving my power away to something else that I think gave me, but the vibrations are already within me and I'm the one creating it. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. And, as you were speaking, Jesse put something down here. I don't know if you read this, but he put down that I offered a free herbalism clinic last week. Everyone who signed up didn't show up. They didn't value it because it was free. It reminds me of something somebody told me, that when people pay, they pay attention. When you pay attention. Does that, like, do you resonate with that, or does that?
Yes, when people pay, they do pay more attention. They do. Even though they like the free, a lot of people will sign up quick for the free stuff. Like right now, I had a free session with my Patreons, 45 minutes. But I wrote in the description that every Friday, the beginning, like every first Friday of the month and the last Friday of the month. So meaning like twice a week, and I can take those calls or whatever those two. But then I put a calendar, and I didn't filter the calendar because I couldn't put the date. So the whole calendar is open, and now everybody just booked me days here and there, and I'm like, oh my God, what should I do? You know? So I had to correct it last night, but they really do like the free, and I haven't seen anybody that haven't showed up yet, but I know they value when they pay more. But you will get a lot of signups if it's for free. That I know, 100%. And to me, it's a benefit in giving people the free, because when they pay and I tell them, hey, the power is within you, they feel like they haven't used their money wisely. Because it's like someone comes to me like, oh, I'm going to go to this weight loss class. And then they come to me, it's like, what should I do? They're expecting a pill. And I tell them, like, hey, turn on the YouTube videos and start working out. Like, I have to do the work? Like, who's going to do the work for you? You know? So when I don't have a pill for them, if they haven't paid, they'll be okay with it. You know, so it feels like the message goes through when it's free, because of now they feel like, okay, whatever. If she didn't give me a pill to be fixed, you know, at least I didn't use money on it. But then the message would click somehow, like, oh, she said, I have the power. So all my clients, when they come back, they always say like, Nabia, now I know what you're talking about. And that makes me happy, because it's just like, and sometimes I feel like, was I just talking and you didn't get it? All right. But then again, when it clicks for them, that makes me happy, because now it's like, oh my God, so I have the power. I've been telling you so many times, but the power is within me. Everything is fine. I'm so happy. And I always get that message of like, life is good. I hear that a lot, and I love that. You know, life should be good. You should be feeling like, you know, joyful in everything that life has for you. So yeah.
So it finally clicks for them,
Yeah.
you know. You feel good about that moment when you see that it finally sunk in.
It's like when people take ayahuasca and they come back and say like, oh my God, I've experienced this, whatever, you know, something clicked for them. It's not that ayahuasca showed them anything. It's just that something just clicked for them. Their mind just maybe relaxed from analyzing everything, and it took a little vacation, and then now it sees the real, you know? So yeah.
You said something earlier in the Biham, and thank you for sharing this, by the way, because these are like tremendous. You know, I love listening to your perspective always. You said something I've never heard before. You said owning a vibration.
Mm-hmm.
You said now you own the vibration, like certain, you know, practices, methods, and modalities that people might have, like meditation or chanting, or, you know, the recitation of information. But you say those are kind of like training wheels before you own the vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Can you speak on that?
I mean, to me, for example, the vibration of gratitude, I have developed that at a very early age. You know, I was always grateful for whatever, you know, and so I've developed that vibration within me, so I can just stop up and be like, oh my God, let me just be grateful. Who am I talking to? I'm just talking to myself, right? But it's a vibration. It's a vibration that I'm feeling like everything is fine. Everything, I'm grateful for whatever life has, right? So having that vibration within myself, I don't have to create it somehow like, oh, you got something you have to be grateful for, because I'm grateful for whatever, right? So I have a vibration of gratitude within me. So I own that. That's a vibration that's part of me now. Yeah, so it's part of me. So I don't have to practice it somehow. It's like whenever I need to feel gratitude, I will feel gratitude, right? So it's not like a pick and choose, oh, I need to feel grateful for this and not for that and not for this and this, stuff like that, because I've understood it's a vibration, right? There are certain things that will make you feel like, when you feel like something is off, you have a different vibration, your intuition tells you like, hey, this is something else. And then you trust that, right? It's a vibration. It's a vibration that's judging the situation, right? So it's like knowing your internal frequencies and how they react on certain things. So that's what I mean by owning.
So you don't view it as like like a muscle or something that develops and gets stronger the more you use it, and that if you don't, it somehow atrophies and you lose it. You view it as a vibration that once you own, it is always known, it is always home forever, like in perpetuity. It's yours forever. You don't have to do anything else to have it.
You need to check on it. It's there, but you have to check on it. You have to check on it, then.
So you go back and you check on it. You see how the vibration. You see how the vibe is doing. Like you peek it. Is it doing okay? Is the vibe okay? Let me see. Is it good? All right, good.
Because sometimes your environment creates you, right? Let's say like you are in an environment that throws your frequency off, right? And you find yourself in this situation where you feel like you're lacking, right? And that's because of some of the other vibration that the gratitude, whatever vibration that you have within you, have decreased because of your environment is trying to shape you. So it's possible to be reshaped again, and then you can become, we're just like a clay, so our mind, maybe our body, like when we're a kid we can modify the body and something, but when we grow older the mind is still developing, right? So I feel like every day I have to know, like, okay, what I'm grateful for. Every day I have to feel the vibration that are within me. I have to act on them. So it's like I'm using them daily. So it's not like something I have to practice or anything. But if you find yourself in an environment that is not allowing you to be that vibration, you have to check on it. Otherwise you lose it. So you can.
Thank you for breaking that down, and thank you for illustrating that, because we do find ourselves in environments that sometimes feel conflicting or constricting when it comes to the consciousness that we have at that point in time. The state of awareness that we have isn't always the state of awareness that our family, our friends, our loved ones, like for instance, in the environment that you're in, whereas maybe you might not have certain practices or certain beliefs around, maybe cosmetics, or maybe, certain looks, certain ways, certain, orientations, or certain things about you that are different. But you still maintain that equilibrium, you still maintain that balance, even if that influence is all around you. Would you say that it's not very challenging?
I think I've created the vibrational acceptance. So if I have that vibrational acceptance, I don't care if you look like a cow, It doesn't matter. Whatever you do, whatever you're doing, it's just like, you don't have to be like me, So even if I don't, use perfumes or any chemicals and stuff like that, you can be using it, I can give you my 2 cents of, if you ask me any questions, but it doesn't mean that, this person is doing wrong and I'm doing right? It's just like I made this choice, they made that choice. And the reason why I made this choice is because I don't like that, But it doesn't make them wrong. So for me to be in an environment where people are different from me, which is often, very often, I just learn how to accept, and that acceptance actually came because I've been with my family before I gained the acceptance, and that was more like challenging because now I had to question myself, I felt like I wasn't accepted, and I felt like, but the whole thing was like I wasn't accepting them, and they wasn't accepting me. But now when I accept everything, I feel like I'm being accepted as well because I accept myself. But in before that, it was just questions like, what makes you think your ways is better? Why is my way not better? Why are you not understanding me? Why? But it was me who wasn't understanding myself or them. Does that make sense? So yeah, I can walk in anywhere and I can sit in restaurants and they eat all that kind of stuff and they ask me questions because I've been in restaurants before and but this is like constant asking. Come on, because it's a culture that says like, okay, if you eat something, you have to always offer something, you know? So for someone like me to just say like, oh no, you know, they're used to it, but I'm still being asked.
So that was an important note that you just made, and I know that it helped somebody out there because I've encountered this as well. And you said that it was a realization for you that when you finally accepted yourself, that that's when you got accepted by everyone
Mm-hmm.
else.
Absolutely. It's just
Like you were waiting on them, like their acceptance was never coming until you had that level of
yeah.
acceptance.
It wasn't even supposed to come from them. It was from yourself. You have to accept yourself and accept others, and then that's acceptance happens, you know? Yeah, so it's not challenging at all. I feel like I'm moving smooth through all the culture, you know? Yeah.
What's one of the things that you might tell somebody? Say it's a stranger, or not a complete stranger, but somebody who doesn't know you as well, and they're eating in front of you. You're not eating, and they might feel uncomfortable by you not eating, and they're eating in front of you. What's something that you might tell them to like put their mind at ease? Like it's okay. What's something you would tell somebody?
Hmm. Like I'm asked all the time, like my nephew always says, you know, I don't feel comfortable eating in front of you because I feel bad, you know? And I laugh most of the times, you know, because they should not feel bad about eating in front of me. I don't even see it. Okay, and like I'm blind to those things because I'm just used to people doing things, right? So I'm not even focused on. I'm like, oh, you're eating, but I told them, like I tell him sometimes, you know, because whatever he's eating, I say, you know, even if you think like, you know, starving, if it was the last meal, I promise you I wouldn't eat it. So don't even worry about it. You know, if you were not even here and that meal was right there and nothing else to eat in the world was there, I wouldn't eat it. So don't even feel bad about it. He's like, what do you mean? And I said, no, I would not. So just consider it as just like, you know, I'm eating, you know, in my own way. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay, you said it. So you're like, I am eating.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not eating in that way.
Yes. Yes. So like sometimes when I say, oh my God, I haven't had anything all day, and I'll try to do like these days being like my cucumber or, you know, tea or something like that. I would hear from everybody, even the children, you don't even eat anything anyway. You know, you don't, you know, I'm like, yes, I do. I do have some stuff, you know, but I think slowly in their mind, it's just register that, you know, Nabiha, don't just do anything. But then at the same time, the human mind would still just be triggered, right? So they will keep on asking me. And yeah, even they asked me, I remember, do you drink water? That was my little niece. She gave me, she's like, you drink water? You drink water. So yeah, and when I said when they give me a perfume, like I smell this, I'm like, oh, I don't smell. It's like you don't smell. Why? They give me a cream or something like that. Oh no, I don't. Or like, auntie, let me put some makeup on you, and I'm like, no, I can't. So everything is like, oh no, oh no. So they feel like, how do you know what you can have and what you cannot have, and what all of that? And I say, you know, it's just, I just know. I know the makeup is an animal product, the perfume is just a chemical. Why would I like drug myself like that? That one sniff, even like walking into the room where they sell it, makes me dizzy. So yeah, I just have fun with it.
I, I really love how you say that, Nabiha. The way you say, you know, I am eating, because someone's concept of eating is not the same as your concept. Like,
Hmm.
you know, someone sees that you're not eating and they think that you're starving, but you
Hmm.
say, I'm not starving because I am
Hmm.
eating, you know?
Hmm.
And they don't see any plate, they don't see any fork, they don't see any spoon, they don't see any food. They say, how can you be eating?
Hmm.
And you say, well, I am,
Yeah.
you know? So
My little
I
niece,
love
I
it.
asked them.
Hmm.
My little niece, I asked them because my sister's the same. She just don't know. You know, she do when she eats like once a week here and there, she would touch some stuff, and then every time I talk with other people, like it could be my nephew, and I'm just explaining like, oh, food makes me feel this way, and that's why I stop. It's like, honestly, why did you do this, or what made you choose this and stuff? And I would explain like, it's just a feeling. I don't feel well when I put something in my body. It doesn't make me feel like the way I want to feel, and that's why, right? It's not something that I just came up with. And then my sister would be like, I have never felt well eating anything. Anything. She's like, the only time I get sick is when I put something into my body. So subconsciously, she avoids to eat. But one bad habit she has is a tea. Her tea and my tea, the differences are she got sugar in her tea. So what's destroying her is the sugar. She became like sugar addict. So she would drink like her tea all day long. At work, she would have this little thermos with her, and then she would be drinking that tea. But that's the sugar that's keeping her running, right? And it's destroying a lot of things as well. So, but she don't eat, and now she's starting to understand. Like that makes sense. I eat, I get pain. I eat, I don't feel well. I eat, I feel tired, and yeah. So they started to understand.
And does it take the guilt away whenever you say, hey, if that was the last food on earth, if you weren't here, if nobody else was here and that was the last food on earth, I still wouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that takes their guilt away? Like, oh,
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Their guilt. No, I don't have any guilt. Yeah, it will take that guilt of like, oh my God, offer her something. Like I would never, never. Like you would never touch any food, never. Like I'm so sure, right? And it will not be that food. Even if I touch something, it won't be that. So I think it gives them like, okay, oh my God, she is serious. So this is not like something you can convert her like to whatever. And it feels like they have this feeling of like, let me convert her to whatever. Like people just get that feeling, and it's like, is that evilness or what is it? What is it that's coming out of you? Like if I eat whatever you're eating, it's gonna make me feel like you feeling. So you don't even like the way you feel. So why do you want me to feel that way? Because of you feeling bad, you want me to feel bad too? Because I don't hear you say like, oh my God, this food made me fly. This made me this. You're not even working out. You're not moving your body. You're not doing anything. The food puts you down. So what do you wish me to do? Like, you want me to just lay down? I'm upside down here. I'm doing this. I'm always in activities, but I'm not consuming what you're consuming. Don't you think that maybe that's why I'm active? Maybe it's illusion to think that food gives you energy to be active. Maybe it is you that is in the wrong. Like, but why do you want me? So the only answer I have is like, you have to be thirsty for something. It must be like the parasites or whatever that's speaking. That's not you. That's not you, because you don't want to hurt me. And at the same time, you're like, sometimes my nephew the other day, he came with a fork, and I was just standing there making my tea, and then when I turned around, it was like, and I was like, oh my God, what are you doing? So it triggers their mind to just convert you to something like, let me do this. But I'm not in that stage that you can really do
Right,
anything.
because the way you make it sound, it's almost like you make it sound like food is a religion
It is.
and they want to convert you to the religion of consuming food.
Yeah, it's like being a vampire.
A
And now
vamp?
you're not a vampire. Yeah,
Say that again?
vampire. It's like, let me bite you and you become a vampire too. Like, they want you to be thirsty for blood, thirsty for like processed food and stuff. They just want you to have those parasites that's craving whatever. And it's like, you don't even like yours. You don't even like your parasites. Why do you want me to create parasites that are craving like you? Yeah, but I think it's that people want to feel like they're doing something right. And then when they find out like, oh my God, eating and stuff, I really thought it's going to make me grow, make me this, make me that. It's not actually doing anything. It's not actually doing anything. Like I tell my nephew, last night I had a conversation with him. He was telling me that how he feel, like no motivation. He feels like every time he leaves the house, it's like he feels so hungry. He feels so, not energy. He doesn't have any energy. He wants to go to the gym. Like, I need to go to the gym, and I think about it every day. I'm like, think about going to the gym. What are you gonna do? Just going from this house to another facility, and then you have like equipment, and you're gonna feel like you've been to the gym, and then you come back. It's kind of like a mental program that you're testing. It's like you're lying to yourself. So I told him, if you want to sweat, put the TV on, get your sweat here. It's like whatever time it is, just get it right here, right? It's like, oh, I will start tomorrow, and this is what I want. I'm like, stop eating maybe what you're eating. Maybe that's what's making you this way, like you don't feel like alive. You feel dead most of the time. What do you eat? You only eat dead food. Zero nutrition. Nothing. Everything is like overcooked and processed that you're not getting anything from it. So you might as well not eat anything. Because you're not getting anything. It's in the mind that you get something from it, but you're not getting anything. And you're still alive, just sick. So you can stop eating that and be alive and healthy. Right? Yeah.
Wow. When you put it like that, it just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Yeah. What's the nutrition value in McDonald's meal? It doesn't have any. So that means like you're not eating anything. You're eating just something that will make you sick. But you're not eating
I re-
anything.
I remember when someone and I'll just say this before we go. I remember when somebody put you put a burger and fries on a countertop,
Mm-hmm.
and you put a banana on the same countertop, and you just watch them decompose. You see how long it.
You cut off. Is it just me, maybe?
Uh-oh. Did I cut off? Hold on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. You are decomposed.
Yeah, I say like you've seen people who will put like fast food on a countertop and just let it sit there, and then put organic, like maybe a banana or a fruit or whatever on the countertop right next to it, and see which decomposes faster, see what happens to them. And it'll be like days and weeks, and nothing will happen to those fries, nothing will happen. It'll be the same. So you wonder,
It's the
it makes you wonder.
same with genetically modified and organics. So if you have a genetically modified and then organic one, you see that the organic one will expire. Even if you go to the store, people don't want to buy the organic because it's expensive. But then you can see them rotting in the store, while the other ones can just stay there forever and ever, and they just look like a cucumber, look like a banana, whatever. So it is the cycle of nature, It is. So we're eating artificial, like it's the same thing as eating like plastic, something that's not real. So it's not real. The food that we eat is absolutely not real.
So, like you said, I mean, you might as well just not have anything. That it just sounds logical. The way that you came to that conclusion, and it's tough, for someone to accept that idea.
Yeah.
But when someone sits down and thinks long enough and strong enough, they could come to that conclusion. But for many years, I didn't. I never stopped to even understand what I was doing. I was just doing it over and over again.
Because
So,
people want to be full.
yeah.
You can get full of anything, right? It's like your disposal, like whatever garbage can here, and it's like as long as it's full, you're satisfied. But that's what people seek. They seek that fullness. I think it's the fullness that makes them. I don't know. It gives them like some high or something, right? So whatever it is that fills you up, even if it doesn't have any nutrition, nothing, they just go for it because it satisfies the mind that they ate something, but they didn't actually eat anything but a disease. They just introduced another garbage, you know, without releasing out the garbage that was in there. So it's just gonna be like a garbage can full of like stuff, but it's not gonna go in. It's
Right.
not gonna
Right.
in. Yeah, it's like right here. Same thing with the water. If the water is alkaline and it's like, you know, in its level, it will go in and not to your belly. Does that make sense? So if you feel full drinking water, that water has no value. You're not supposed to feel full with water. Does that make sense? Even the juices, you're not supposed to feel full. You're supposed to like drink pineapple, feel it, leave it alone.
So even circling back, you know, to what you said in the beginning, that feeling of emptiness, since most of us are accustomed to craving the feeling of fullness, why don't we learn how to appreciate emptiness?
Yes, because of everything is in that emptiness. And it's just like a drug addict, you know, they just don't want to deal with the reality, they really want to escape, for example, right? I think it's the same thing. It's like, it's kind of addiction that people just want to escape. But once you really experience the emptiness, the energy that's in the emptiness, the happiness and joy that's in the emptiness, when you know, like, okay, hey, like absent from all kind of information outside of myself, and now you're just in that bubble of your own energy, then you will know that, oh my God, McDonald's made me feel this way. Oh my God, this juice made me feel this way, because now you're getting out of your alignment, right? But if you never align with yourself, you will never know what is what, right? So I think people just seek that fullness to escape, nothing else but to escape. You know, they just want to, they just feel like it, and that's what they want to do. But there's no back thought of like, why? You know, why? Yeah, but you have to feel the emptiness in order for you to value it and really like it. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Nabiha. Thank you.
Girl,
This has been amazing.
yeah.
This has been amazing.
Thank you. And thank you, Jesse. Sorry that I didn't click on that. I was just talking to my Jesse wanted to join earlier. But anyway, much love to you.
Much love. Much love.